In August of 1990, Iraq invaded another sovereign nation and took them over. And so as a coalition and as a joint force, our job was to go into Iraq and get them to free Kuwait, basically.
The metric General Schwarzkopf gave the air commander, General Horner, was he wanted at least 50+% of the Iraqi Republican Guard destroyed before the beginning of the ground war. And so we did that. We did that with F-16s and A-10s and F-111s.
We began changing the calculus in Desert Storm from how many aircraft to destroy a target to a calculus of how many targets can one airplane destroy. That's our calculus today.
And then the last 100 hours was that great, large, division-centric ground force rolling over the Republican Guard that was dug in the desert. So, yeah, air power set the conditions for a very rapid advance through the sands of Kuwait and Iraq.
With the debut or the initiation of JSTARS, the Joint Surveillance Target Attack Radar System, the E-8, we had for the first time the ability to catch ground force movements in the act, day or night, regardless of the weather, and we had the ability to reorient an entire theater of air power in response to an enemy move. Space began to allow us precision navigation and timing, GPS that we know it today. It was in its beginning at the time. So there are so many things that we take for granted today that are fundamentally part of who we are and how we operate that saw their beginnings in Desert Storm.
So airlift was very important. So from August till even past the shooting started in mid-January, we knew that those young soldiers, sailors, and airmen on the ground were relying on our ammunition, our food, our sustainment to deter and then defeat Saddam Hussein.
And as the war progressed, the mission sets kind of changed a little bit. We evolved from going in big ship formations, and we would fly smaller formations, or we would, fuel maybe the AWACS or different aircraft like that.
We won that fight with every AFSC. It wasn't just the pilots or just the crew chiefs. It was every AFSC, from logistics to the civil engineers that built the bomb dump. Every airman is a warrior, and we're proving that every day.
It proved to us that the Guard and the Reserve are a national asset, and over the last 25 years since Desert Storm, we've been growing the three-component Air Force, the active Guard and Reserve, growing them closer.
But I really hope we can remember how we came together as a joint and a coalition team. Nations from all over the world, all of the services, supporting each other, generating effects for one another to achieve an effect in an incredibly short period of time.
And it probably is lost a little bit on folks coming in the Air Force now because the Air Force has matured so much, yet the roots, you'll find many of what the Air Force does good, the roots of which are in Desert Storm, and the lessons that we all took forward and to make the Air Force what it is today.